Let's get to David Catanese now. He's a senior politics writer for U.S. News and World Report. Man, there's a lot of money getting in there against Trump. They said there would. 2 different ads from American Future Fund PAC. The Club for Growth is in action down there. Our Principles PAC is in action down there. And they're loading a $10 million plus just in FLA.
This is the biggest barrage that Trump will have seen waged against him at one time. But look, we are 20 primaries in now. And what I would say is Trump is pretty defined with most voters. A lot of people have made up their minds about this guy.
So a lot of them have already voted in Florida.
Yeah, and that's true. He's banked a lot of that early vote, which we saw in contests over the weekend, made the difference. All this early voting put Trump over the top, whereas he sort of lost Election Day, or at least tied Election Day voting with Senator Cruz. But the problem is I'm still looking at 4 guys in this race, and even in that Florida poll, you add up Kasich and Cruz, who are not expected to really even be playing there, and they're getting almost a third of the vote. So, and there's some consolidation against Trump here, and we're going to see if it works, but frankly, this would be the first time the television ad campaign would be effective against him, because it hasn't worked thus far. Yeah,
that one thing is the ad money, and then another is a lot of journalists have been digging a little deeper. Some of Trump's background stuff, you see it today in the New York Times. There's some all over the place. One thing I thought interesting, a Huffington Post editor's note after a Michael Calderon piece today. Editor's note, those are the things that the editor puts down at the bottom as a matter of facts with links. And the editor's note today is, Donald Trump is a serial liar, rampant xenophobe, racist, misogynist, birther, and bully who has repeatedly pledged to ban all Muslims, 1.6 billion members of an entire religion, from entering the United States. And the weird thing is, it's all true.
Well, but look, Trump is running partly, more than partly, a lot against the media. I mean, this is as much as he stands up at his rallies and lambasts Rubio and Cruz and calls them names, he goes right at the media every time, and his people love it. I think what we have to watch is are we seeing a precipitous slide here from Trump? We saw a little bit of his vulnerability over the weekend, people drawing away from him, moving towards Senator Cruz, really.
That's true.
So we're going to have 2 more tests tomorrow. I think the big states tomorrow are Mississippi and Michigan. These are Trump states. They look like double-digit polling advantages. But if he only slips away with a very narrow victory, that will embolden some of these groups, I think, to pour more money into Florida. And I think Illinois is going to be another key state come March 15th.
If Rubio can't win Florida, does he have to leave the race? What is your take on it?
He doesn't have to leave the race, but
where the money would come from?
I don't know either, and I don't know even if Rubio does squeak out Florida. What does that get him? Okay, it gets him his home state. It gets him 99 delegates. But then where does he go? What momentum does that give him? I think that's a harder case for him to make. But yes, he's got to win Florida. You already have Cruz and Trump saying he should get out of the race now, which is interesting. These 2 guys want to go mano a mano at each other. You could have 2 different arguments on who that would advantage. Yeah. But look, it's obviously do or die for Rubio. I think even if he does win Florida, he's got a tough road to hoe.
Of course, if you believe what you're hearing from the power brokers, it's that they want him to stay in so that they all split this vote so that Trump doesn't get the necessary number of delegates so that they can have, I don't think a brokered convention is the right thing to say, but a contested convention. I don't know who the brokers would be anymore, but a contested convention up in Cleveland.
Yeah, there's this theory that they cannot overtake Trump in the delegate lead. They can only stop him, prevent him from getting the 1,237 necessary. But frankly, Cruz still has a path. Cruz is the guy amassing the most delegates. He's only down about 80 delegates or so, depending on the calculation, to Trump. He still has a path to beat Trump, and I think some of these Midwestern states are going to be key for him. It's not probable, but it's still possible. So Trump can still be beaten within the primary system, forgetting not having to go to a convention. But the question is, does Cruz ever get to that one-on-one race that he so desperately wants? And is it too late once that one-on-one race happens?
Time will tell, because I'm so smart. Thank you, David Catanese. It's nice to see you.